Number 18, locations of earthquake origins. You have depth in kilometers, 100, 200 kilometers, 3, 4, 500 kilometers, 6, 700 kilometers. Each dot on the above diagram marks the origin of an earthquake. The area with the highest concentration of earthquake origins marks F, a line of Earth's magnetic field, G, a seam of soft rock such as limestone, H, the path of a subducting tectonic plate, or J, the location of a developing igneous intrusion. Each dot on the above diagram marks the origin of an earthquake. The area with the highest concentration of earthquake origins marks which one of these? Number 19, you have a key, direction of plate movement, convergent plate boundary, divergent plate boundary, and transform fault. Number 19, in the graphic above, which of the following represents the Euro-Asian plate? A, plate W, B, plate X, C, plate Y, or D, plate Z. In the graphic above, which of the following represents the Euro-Asian plate? Number 20, 4 forces are acting on a box as shown below. You have 40 newtons down, 10 newtons up. You have 20 newtons to the right and 20 newtons to the left. This box will move F, upward and to the right, G, downward and to the right, H, downwards only, or J, upwards only. 4 forces are acting on a box as shown below. 40 down, 10 up, 20 right, 20 left. This box will move what direction? "21. Tobias rode his bike for a 3-hour period. During that time, he covered 60 kilometers. What was his average speed? A, 10 kilometers per hour, B, 15 kilometers per hour, C, 20 kilometers per hour, or D, 25 kilometers per hour. Tobias rode his bike for a 3-hour period. During that time, he covered 60 kilometers. What was his average speed? Number 22. The diagram below shows a student using a spring scale to pull a wooden block up a ramp that is resting on a stack of books. Which change to the setup below would increase the force needed to pull the wooden block up the ramp? So what do they need to change with this to increase the force needed to pull the wooden block up the ramp? You have wooden block, you have the spring scale, your ramp and your books. F, restack the books so the thinnest book is on the bottom. G, have the student use 2 hands. H, reduce the mass of the wooden block. Or J, add another book to the stack of books. Which change to the setup below would increase the force needed to pull the wooden block up the ramp? Number 23, Mrs. Ann's motion graph. Your distance, your time, and your graph. Mrs. Ann traveled in her car throughout the day. Based on this graph, one can conclude that Mrs. Ann, A, had to stop twice before reaching her final destination, B, decreased her speed due to traffic, C, was unable to travel to her destination due to roadblocks, or D, continually increased her speed until she reached a maximum speed. Mrs. Ann traveled in her car throughout the day. Based on this graph, one can conclude that Mrs. Ann, which one of these? Number 24, which of the following utilizes the most appropriate energy for a town with a large body of water? F, the collection of scrap metal to create a windmill. G, burning down a forest to create new habitats. H, drilling for fossil fuels. Or J, building a dam with turbines. Which of the following utilizes the most appropriate energy for a town with a large body of water? Number 25. You have A and you have B and your mountain. How was the mountain shown above most likely formed? A, plates A and B are moving towards each other. B, plates A and B are moving apart from each other. C, plate A is moving away and plate B is stationary. Or D, plate A is stationary and plate B is moving away. How was this mountain shown above most likely formed? Number 26. The convergence of 2 continental plates would produce F, island arcs, G, rift valleys, H, folded mountains, J, trenches. The convergence of 2 continental plates would produce. Number 27. Which of the following is most responsible for the formation of new crust at the edge of a tectonic plate? A, mountain building at a continent-continent convergent boundary. B, magma rising up from the mantle at a divergent boundary. C, 2 tectonic plates sliding past one another at a transform boundary. Or D, subduction of one oceanic plate under another at a convergent boundary. Which of the following is most responsible for the formation of new crust at the edge of a tectonic plate? Number 28. What is a disadvantage of using moving water to produce electricity? F. Power is produced inexpensively. G. Air pollution is produced. H. Oil spills may occur. Or J. The local ecosystem may be disrupted. What is the disadvantage of using moving water to produce electricity? Number 29. Which statement about the formation of rocks is true? A. Heat and pressure can change igneous rock to sedimentary rock. B. Weathering and erosion can change sedimentary rock into sediment. C. Heat and pressure cause metamorphic rock to weather and erode. Or D. Weathering and erosion prevent magma from changing into igneous rock. Which statement about the formation of rocks is true? Number 30. Look at the concept map describing the differences and the similarities between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. What is the third difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? Prokaryotic and eukaryotic. I should say eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Ways they are similar. They are cells. They both contain cytoplasm. They both contain genetic material. Ways they are different. Prokaryotic cells are more simple than eukaryotic cells. 2. Prokaryotic cells do not contain organelles. And what is the third difference? F. Bacteria are made of only eukaryotic cells. G. Prokaryotic cells do not have cell division. H. Prokaryotic cells can change into eukaryotic cells, but eukaryotic cells cannot change into prokaryotic cells. Or J. DNA in prokaryotic cells is not contained in the nucleus, but the genetic material is contained in a nucleus in eukaryotic cells. What is the third difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? Which one of these is the third difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? Number 31. All living things are made of cells. Organisms are either unicellular or multicellular. What is the primary or the main difference between unicellular and multicellular organisms? A. Unicellular organisms have only one nucleus in their cell, while multicellular organisms have multiple nuclei in their cells. B. Unicellular organisms require sunlight for energy, while multicellular organisms do not require sunlight. C. Unicellular organisms are made of one cell, while multicellular